Hey guys, Angry Monkey here.
And Jackson Farrell from Hot Pile of Garbage.
We're playing some more 999, and Ace is answering a lot of questions for us.
And we've got another question for him.
And you can tell by that look on his face, something's off.
Yep. He's starting to lose it. Ace, did you kill Clover? Yes. Why? Why did you kill her?
She was Snake's... Oh, sorry.
Yes, she was Snake's sister. It was possible he had told her something dangerous. Additionally, she had gone through door 1. It seemed likely she might have found it. Found what? Why don't you go through door 1 yourself? Perhaps it's hidden somewhere.
Seven and Lotus interrupted.
Yeah, but Lotus and I went through door 1 too. We didn't see anything suspicious.
That's Lotus's voice.
Oh, whoops! Did I seven my Lotus? Oh, I'm slacking off. I'm failing to rise up to the challenge before me. I'm sorry, everyone. No, I'm not.
You just wanted to get out of a Lotus line.
It was a happy accident, I swear. Anyway, Ace. Yes, I thought as much after I heard your report at the central stairs. I doubt the two of you could find it. Huh? But perhaps Clover was different. Perhaps she had found it. I was, therefore, desperate to find her. And at last I did, in the first-class cabin. I spoke very calmly. Did you see it?
See what?
Don't act as if you don't understand. You were in the cabin's quarters, weren't you? The captain's cabin quarters, weren't you? The
what?
Captain's quarters.
You're weird. What are you talking about? Oh, wow. I didn't even mean to... I didn't even know that was going to be her next line.
Very well. By the way, what are you doing here, Clover?
Nothing.
There's blood on your shoes. It looks fresh.
Hold on.
That sounded squeaky. Gotta grease the wheels.
Yeah.
Did you go take a look at the ninth man's corpse? I see. Your silence suggests that you noticed. You saw something, didn't you? You saw that his bracelet was gone.
Clover ran. She made for the exit, but Ace stood in her way.
You aren't going anywhere.
He caught her by the collar as she passed and threw her to the floor hard. She leapt back up and darted past him into the hallway. Ace followed at a run. He was faster.
Old man can really move.
Yeah. Don't let those old people fool you. They might walk the pace of a turtle, but they might walk at the pace of a turtle because they've accidentally put both legs in one side of their pants. But beware, they could kill you.
Little backhanded compliment for all you old people. You're kind of senile but excellent murderers. Oh, let's go on before we burn any more bridges. That was how I killed Clover.
His face hadn't changed. If he felt guilt or remorse or anything one might feel after taking the life of another human being, it didn't show.
You son of a gun.
Seven's whole body trembled with rage and his voice rumbled with hate. Santa's eyes were bloodthirsty, and Lotus's and June's faces were distorted by anger and hatred. Ace looked at them and smiled. It was a cold, cruel thing with no humor in it. He shook his head and sighed.
I admit it, I've lost. I have lost, completely and utterly. But don't misunderstand, Junpei. I didn't lose to you. I lost to Zero, not you. I'm rather disgusted with myself for falling into such a simple trap. And it was a trap, make no mistake. I was trapped and manipulated by Zero. The man I killed in the shower room? If he wasn't Snake, then I have no idea who he was. But he was wearing Snake's clothes, and that was no coincidence. He had also been injected with something that reduced his cognition and prevented him from identifying himself or resisting me. And we can't forget the components that were removed from the red before we arrived. I have no doubt that Zero planned all of this. Zero made sure that I would kill that man. It follows, of course, that Zero knew everything I would do. That I would try to take the number 9 bracelet. That I would try to kill Snake. Everything.
Suddenly, Junpei remembered the paper he'd found in the safe. He remembered the last word Zero had written on it. I must punish them for the innocent lives they have sacrificed. This is the only warning they will receive. That innocent souls might be saved, I now state the truth. Zero. Oh, wait. They might know the truth. Zero. Forgot to do the Darth Vader impression. And he remembered other words he'd heard from Clover. I think Zero is one of us. One by one, Junpei looked at the 5 people standing in front of him. Ace. Santa. June. 7. Lotus. Zero is one of us. Guess I should have read that in June's voice, or Clover's voice, but whatever. No, Junpei paused. There was one more person. Snake. It was clear now that the man who had died in the shower room was not Snake. That meant that Snake was almost certainly still alive. Perhaps Snake was Zero. Perhaps Snake had made Guy X wear his clothes so that he would appear to be dead. Where was Snake now? Perhaps he was somewhere, laughing at them. If he was Zero, surely he'd lied about many other things. Was he watching them?
Was he in... Of course he wasn't!
Yeah, he's blind. He can't watch them.
Duh. I don't think there was Snake. He couldn't have watched them. Because he's blind. Blind people can't watch.
Well, I believe I've finished with my confession. Why don't we get moving?
He sounded as if he'd just finished doing nothing more exciting than describing the weather. For Santa, it was the last straw. What is this crap? You aren't going anywhere, you sick son of a gun. We're gonna leave your butt here to rot. The rest of you's coming with us, but your butt's staying here to rot.
Why? Because I killed Clover? That's ridiculous. Why are you so upset that I killed the little girl? She was nothing to you. A stranger you only met a few hours ago. Am I wrong? You.
Why you? Seven roared and lifted a fist that would likely have shattered Ace's jaw. But someone else was faster.
Who?
It was Lotus. She stepped toward Ace, raised a fist of her own. Oh! And drove it straight into his nose.
Huh. You've got some...
It almost looks like he didn't really feel it. It's like, huh. Wow, you hit me.
You've got some fire, don't you? I confess, I rather like a tough woman.
He sniffed and wiped a small trickle of blood from his nose with a raised eyebrow.
Well, maybe you'd like another one then! Before that, let me give you one of my own.
Huh? Lotus scarcely had time to blink. Ace snaked his arm around her and pulled Lotus's back up against him. In the same motion, he reached into his coat pocket.
Oh boy.
It was a gun. The revolver. Almost lazily, he tilted it to point at Lotus's head.
If any of you so much as blink, I won't hesitate to pull this trigger. I've already killed 2, no 3 people. Don't think I'm not ready to make it 4.
3 people? What do you mean?
Very well. Let me take this opportunity to illuminate you. The person who killed the 9th man was me. Although I suppose, to be more accurate, I encouraged him to get himself killed. While we were examining the main staircase, he came to me and told me his name. I recognized it at once, so I gave him a little push. Just a little white lie. It seems the settings for the dead were altered. Now it only requires a single person to deactivate the detonator in the bracelet. Investigate what's beyond door 5. We'll meet again later.
Okay, have a good one, guys. I'm going off ahead now. Well then. Poop! Why isn't it stopping? Gosh darn. You lied. Open the door. Please, I'm begging you. Help me, please. Get me out of here. Get me out of here. Oh my god, there's no time left. Listen, I was lied to. He lied to me. Put me in here. It was him. He killed me. It was Kim.
Wow.
I put a lot of motion into that one, more than I did last time.
Yeah. That was not an exact memory. It grew more intense over time.
Yeah.
In our minds and in our hearts. Ace is lucky that Niney didn't call out exactly who had, lied to him in his panic.
Well, even if he had, he would have just heard Ace's name and might not have really associated Ace's name with the face, and he would have shouted out the Hintaro Kongo name instead of, Hongo name instead of, it was him, it was Ace, it would have been, it was Hongo, it was Gentaro, he killed me.
Yeah.
Who the heck's that? Is that Zero? I don't know who this guy is.
Anyway, I had 4 reasons for killing him. 1. As I said before, in the nonary game, the number 9 bracelet is of utmost importance. If I had allowed him to keep such a useful tool, he or it would have become a threat to me. As such, I decided that he should be eliminated early on. 2. I wanted the number 9 bracelet. If I could manage to obtain it, I would be able to manipulate the game as I saw fit. I would be unable to acquire the bracelet unless its owner was dead. 3. Even setting aside his number, he would have been nothing but trouble for me. He was aware of my past. He knew what happened here 9 years ago. It was important that I eliminate him before he was able to disseminate this information. 4. Lastly, I wished to conduct a simple test. A test to see if this nonary game was serious or a poor attempt at a joke. I needed to be quite sure. As such, I encouraged him to act against the rules so that I might observe the outcome.
Junpei glared at him.
I don't get your third motive. What the heck happened 9 years ago? Didn't I say? The nonary game was played. I planned it out, and I conducted its execution. Why? What on earth was it supposed to do? I don't really think I have any obligation to tell you that.
Ace smirked. He was trying to provoke them, and it was working. Although Ace had paid very little attention to Lotus after catching her, the gun had never wavered from her temple. She looked quite pale, and when she spoke, her voice shook.
Hey, what's with this gun? Where did he get this? Why don't you tell her, Santa?
Santa ground his teeth and glared at Ace. On the other side of door 6, man, we found the gun in this coffin in the cargo room, man. Right? That person must have grabbed it when we weren't looking, man.
Indeed I did. That was a pretty serious mistake, you know.
Yeah, I have to agree with Ace on that one. It was pretty stupid to leave a gun behind.
Yeah, in a situation like this. Just saying you intended to leave it behind.
Ace laughed, a short, derisive snort, and gave Junpei a sickening, pitying look.
Well, there isn't much time left. I'll be off then.
Where are you going?
Do I really need to explain? I had assumed it would be obvious. I have the number 9 bracelet, and now I have Lotus.
In numbers.
Wasn't there a door with a 9 on it in the room that looked like a church? That's where you're going, isn't it? And how do you know that? Santa told me about it while we were looking for Clover. I see. Well, you are correct. That is my destination. But now I must say goodbye to all of you. Ah, and please don't forget my warning. Move, and I'll pull the trigger. I don't need her alive to open the door, you know.
As he spoke, Ace began backing towards the door, practically dragging Lotus behind him. Junpei, Santa, June, and Seven stood, frozen. Ace had the face of a man gone mad. They had no doubt he would pull the trigger. Ace had reached the exit. He forced Lotus to open it, and then turned and addressed them once more.
Goodbye.
Then he stepped through the door.
Goodbye, Ace.
It fell shut. In the blink of an eye, they were gone. As soon as Ace and Lotus were gone, Junpei and the others leapt for the door in pursuit of Ace. But as Junpei laid his hand on the doorknob, there was a noise behind him. He looked over his shoulder. June was kneeling on the floor, breathing heavily. Hey, man, June, what happened, man? Woman, are you alright? Santa ran to June and wrapped his arm around her before she could collapse all the way. Jesus, you're burning up, man. Your fever's back. Are you okay? June's fever had returned, again for no apparent reason. Her eyes were watery, and her eyelids drooped. Her breath came in dry, shallow gasps. I'm okay. Really? I'm fine. You should be worrying about Lotus. She was breathing hard now, and she could barely summon the strength to talk. Junpei was torn. He couldn't leave June alone in the state she was in. But every moment they waited, Ace was further away, Lotus's life in his hands. What was Junpei supposed to do? June's eyes drifted to Junpei. She managed to muster a weak smile. Junpei, don't worry about me. I just need a little rest. I'll be fine. Don't you remember? I just needed to rest a little bit last time. So please save Lotus.
Think about what Ace has already done, Junpei. When he's got what he needs from Lotus, you really think he's gonna let her just walk away? Dang it.
You guys go on ahead, man. Soon as June starts feeling better, we'll follow you. Go! Go, man! Move! Get away from here! So Junpei looked at June. She nodded once. She couldn't manage much more. But it wasn't all that... It was all the confirmation Junpei needed. His resolve was set.
All right! Come on, Seven. We're going after Ace.
Heck yeah! And in the next episode, we'll continue that following with Ace.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Next episode. We'll see you then.
Goodbye.